Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to episode 8 of Trinity Talks. Today we're going to be talking about every book that I read in May of 2023 because as I'm recording this, today is June 1st, so it's my birthday month and also Pride Month, so happy Pride Month to everybody. So I read 11 books this month, and also I just want to say, spoiler warning, because I will be talking about spoilers of these books because I feel like I don't know how to talk about media without spoiling it. So yeah, and also if you can hear my air conditioning, sorry, it just turned on. So yeah, I read 11 books in May, bringing my total books read all year to 36. I'm trying to read 100 books this year. I haven't even hit 50. And June obviously is the middle of the year, so hopefully by the end of this month I will be able to almost be at 50. I want to get to 45 or something. I don't know. We'll see. So I'm just going to go in order of what books I read, and then talk about their rating and what they're about and my opinions on them. So yeah, book number 1 that I read was actually a kid's book, a juvenile middle grade book. It's called I Survived the Attack of the Grizzlies, 1967, and the author is Lauren Tarshis, I think is how you say her last name. I gave it 5 stars because I don't really know how to rate these because they're for kids. I feel like, I don't know. But yeah, she writes about, real life situations that have happened, and then it's historical fiction. So it's real stuff that's happened, and then she puts fake characters in it. And it's a whole series. And in each series, the main character is a child because, I don't know, I think moral of the story is to show that you could survive something like this. Personally, if I'm getting attacked by a grizzly bear, I know I'm not surviving, so yeah, but I give it 5 stars because I used to read this series when I was in elementary school. I read the Titanic and the shark attack part of the series, and I really liked them, so I saw them at the library I work at, and then I just picked them up, so yeah. Book number 2 was also part of that series. It was I Survived the Wellington Avalanche, 1910, by the same author. I gave it 5 stars. Obviously, the Attack of the Grizzlies talked about the attack of the Grizzlies that happened in 1967, and then the Wellington Avalanche happened in 1910, obviously. So let's get into books that I actually can talk about and give my full-formed opinion on. So the first real book, I guess I should say, that I read this month was, what was it? Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Garmis, I believe is how you pronounce her name. It was really good. I was like, is this book gonna live up to the hype? And it did. It was kind of slow. Not slow, but at the beginning I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this, but I really did. I hope it gets made a TV show or a movie adaptation because, oh my god, it would be so perfect for a 6 or 8 episode TV show. I need it to happen, and it's such a good debut novel. I don't know. So I'm gonna read the summary. So it says, chemist Elizabeth Zott is not your average woman. In fact, Elizabeth Zott would be the first to point out that there is no such thing as an average woman. But it's the early 1960s, and her all-male team at Hastings Research Institute takes a very unscientific view of equality. Except for one, Calvin Evans, the lonely, brilliant, Nobel Prize-nominated grudge holder who falls in love with of all things, her mind. True chemistry results. But like science, life is unpredictable, which is why a few years later, Elizabeth Zott finds herself not only a single mother, but the reluctant star of America's most beloved cooking show, Supper at 6. I'm not reading the rest because that's a lot to read, but yeah. It's so good. I highly recommend this. So like I said, I'm going to be talking about spoilers, so if you don't want to hear my spoiler thoughts, then I don't know what to tell you. So yeah, I read this book and I finished the book, I log onto my phone, I open my phone, and the first thing I see is that Taylor Swift has announced her new album coming out in July, so that was very exciting to see, but that has nothing to do with the book, but yeah. I really liked all the characters. I feel like, except for the creepy men, they can go, but all the characters were really nice and cool. I really liked Elizabeth, the main character, obviously, and her daughter, and Was it Walter? Honestly, I forgot. It's been a while since I read this. Walter, I think. I don't know. I think I made him up. I think his name was Walter, though. I don't know. But I really liked, and the neighbor. I forgot her name, too. Sorry. So, yeah, see, I don't know what I'm talking about. But in the description, like, where it says, like, a few years later she ends up a single mother, I was like, don't tell me Calvin dies, because even, like, from the summary, Calvin sounded like a cool character. And then he died. He died, guys. He literally died. So, R.I.P. to Calvin. I really liked him, too. But yeah, everyone in this book was really good, except for her coworkers at the research institute, because they hate women, and obviously, why would you do that, you know? Just don't. So moving on to the fourth book I read this month, and Jesus Christ, this book was awful. I'm literally so serious, it was awful. Oh, and I gave Lessons in Chemistry 5 stars. I don't think I said that. But anyways, book number 4, Things Have Gotten Worse Since We Last Spoke, by Eric LaRocca? I don't know, and I don't care. Eric, why did you write this? Because this is just, it was disturbing. Like, in my notes, I wrote disturbing. Seriously, disturbing. I don't want to say it was good, but I did give it 4 stars, so what does that say about me and also the author of this book? I could not fall asleep after reading this. I had to start a new book because, like, I don't know, it was just so, it was just weird, like, just disturbing and weird. And, like, I feel like the description of this book does not do it any justice, because I will read it if I can find it. But the description of this book sounded kind of, like, interesting, and I will say the book was interesting. Yeah, in a good way or a bad way, I don't know. So, the description is sadomasochism, obsession, death. A whirlpool of darkness churns at the heart of a macabre ballet between two... What the... Goodreads just crashed. Okay. Between 2 young women, and they meet in, like a chat room online, and Jesus Christ, it just gets worse and worse and worse. Like, and it's like a short story. There's, like, not that many pages. I read it online, like, what is it, like an ebook? Yeah. And oh my god, guys, I was seriously disturbed, but I've talked about this before. I cannot DNF a book. I have to finish the book. But yeah. Anyways, it says a macabre ballet between 2 lonely young women in an internet chat room in the early 2000s, a darkness that threatens to forever transform them once they finally succumb to their most horrific desires. What have you done today to deserve your eyes? Which is like a quote that they, like, say in the book. Literally disturbing, with a capital D, disturbing. Like, I understand that, like, it was trying to show that each character, both the main girls, like, they both had issues. Okay, like, did we need to know about the crucified baby? And yes, there was a crucified baby. Guys, what? And this is all happening, it's like, I don't even know, it's not even that many pages, it's like 120 pages, and there's a crucified baby. Like, really? Did we really need this to happen? No. So, I don't even remember the characters' names are, to be honest. I really don't. I tried to clear my mind of this book, but again, like I said, I gave it 4 stars, so what does that say about me? There's a crucified baby, and then the ending is left to interpretation, but I believe that, her name was Agnes, one of the main characters. I believe that Agnes carved out her eyeballs with this apple peeler, because the apple peeler was, like, the main kind of, like why these 2 women started talking in the first place, and then it kind of, like, blossomed from there, because, like, Agnes wanted to sell the apple peeler, but the main character, her name started with C, I think, I can't remember it, but she was like, don't sell it, like, I'll send you money, you can be my sugar baby. So I thought this was about to turn into some 50 Shades of Grey type of nonsense. It didn't. It just got worse. So, like, Agnes was like, okay, I won't sell the apple peeler, because, like, she needed money, but it also meant a lot to her, but she needed the money. So the other main girl was like, no, I'll take care of you. And then she was like, okay, I'm gonna have you sign a contract, and this contract is going to tell you like everything you can and can't do. So again, 50 Shades of Grey. If y'all have not seen the movie, I mean, I'm not recommending you see it, but like, you know, there's like a contract in the movie. So I'm like, oh my god, I'm about to read 50 Shades of Grey. No, I didn't. And I think I'd rather read 50 Shades of Grey than this. And then, I don't know, and then Agnes went crazy. Like, the main girl who made her, I don't know, I'm gonna call her Clara. I don't think that was her name. But she made Agnes sign this contract, and then I'm like, Clara is the crazy one. Then it flips, and Agnes becomes infatuated. Oh my god, there was a tapeworm. Clara told Agnes, well, Agnes told Clara that she wanted a baby. She wanted them to have a baby together. And mind you, they've never met before. And Clara is like, okay, well, if you want a baby so bad, then get infested with a tapeworm, and that can be your baby. And Clara is obviously thinking, like, she's not actually gonna do that. No, she does. Agnes gets a tapeworm, like, she, like, reads rotten meat, and it's described very in-depth. She gets a tapeworm, then she calls the tapeworm their baby, and the baby is a worm, again, a parasite. And Clara is like, oh my god, what have I done? And then Agnes is like, this baby is ours, it's a boy. I don't know, guys. And then obviously, if you don't know, like, when you have parasites, they come out eventually. You have to, like, pass them. Oh my god. I'm not even gonna talk about that. And then eventually Clara's like, oh my god, Agnes, this is crazy. I can't talk to you anymore. The contract is null and void. Don't contact me again. And then Agnes gets the apple peeler from, like, the beginning of the book, and, like, that's where the book ends. It's like, she says, like, what have you done today to deserve your eyes? And I personally believe that she carved her eyes out with the apple peeler, but I don't know, guys. But disturbing, depraved, disgusting. Yeah. So moving on to book number 5. Book number 5 was What Happened to Ruthie Ramirez by Claire Jimenez. Is that how you say it? Jimenez? I don't know. I gave this one 4 stars. It was really good. The reviews on Goodreads kind of threw me off because all the Goodreads reviews were like, oh my gosh, there's so many bad words, guys. Don't read this book. It's horrible. Like, this is disgusting. You don't need to use that many bad words. Oh, shut up. Goodreads reviewers are scared of bad words, is what I've learned today. So, yeah, I read this book. This is the book I started after I couldn't go to sleep after I read Things Have Gotten Worse Since We Last Spoke. So, this book is about this family on Staten Island. I'll just read the description. A deeply powerful, raw debut of a Puerto Rican family in Staten Island who discovered their long-missing sister is potentially alive and cast on a reality TV show, and they set to bring her home. When 13-year-old middle child Ruthie disappeared after track practice without a trace, it left the family scarred and scrambling. One night, 12 years later, oldest sister Jessica spots a woman on her TV screen in Catfight, a raunchy reality show. She rushes to tell her younger sister Nina. This woman's hair is dyed red. She calls herself Ruby, but the beauty mark under her left eye is instantly recognizable. Could it be Ruthie after all this time? Blah, blah, blah. And it's set in 2008. So, this one was really good. I kind of already had a feeling that, like, this was just going to be, like, a hoax. Like, it wasn't actually going to be their sister, and it wasn't. It was just some other girl. The beauty mark under her eye was fake even, but it was really cute. Like, the family, who was obviously kind of like, they just like were disjointed after, you know, their sister and daughter disappeared, so they were all just kind of separated, not really the like strained relationships, so it brought them closer together at the end. And then there's like a kind of an epilogue where Ruthie's body is found, like, I think 20 years later after she disappeared. So she was, you know, like, dead and stuff anyways. And yeah, but it was really nice. I don't want to say cute because I don't know, but there is a lot of swearing, but I'm not a baby, so I can actually get past that part. So yeah, but yeah, it was really, like, not wholesome. I don't want to say wholesome or cute, but it was something in between that. It was just nice to, like, see the family. They had, like, fights and stuff, but then they eventually came together. The mom and the 2 other daughters, and then, yeah. And then some other lady named Irene. I don't know why she was there, to be honest. I give it 4 stars. I don't really know why I gave it 4 stars, to be honest. I just don't think it was like a 5-star book, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't write it down why I said it was 4 stars, but I just don't think it was a 5-star book. But there's nothing bad about it, I guess. So yeah, book 6 that I read was This Delicious Death by Kayla Cottingham. This book was so freaking boring. I gave it 2 stars. I could not tell you what happened in this book. I'm not even going to read the description of it. It was like, zombies, not zombies. Like, The Last of Us. Not The Last of Us and not The Walking Dead, but some type of, like, infected people are roaming the streets and they drink human blood, but they're not zombies. Or vampires. So, I don't know. And then they, like, get cured, but then, like, the infection comes back. It was called, like, the hollowing. Yeah, they called them hollow people. Jesus, it was so boring. It was a really good concept, awful execution, and the only reason I didn't give it 1 star is because, every character in the book is, like, queer, which is fun, but the book wasn't fun. So, yeah, moving on. Book number 7 was Out of My Heart by Sharon Draper. I gave this one 3 stars. It was the sequel to a book that I read, I think in April or March. I don't know. I read it a while back because it took me a while to finish this book because it wasn't as good as the first one. They're for, like, middle schoolers, like 10, 11, 12-year-olds. So, obviously I'm not the target audience, but it is just really boring. I don't know. And you can tell that this one was written way after the first book. The first book came out, it was out when I was in 5th grade. So, I was in 5th grade in, I don't know, some year. So, yeah. I don't even know when I was in 5th grade. 2015. So, yeah. And then this second book just came out 2022. So you could tell in the first book it was kind of set, I don't know, not in the olden days, but like they didn't have cell phones and stuff like that. You could tell that it was not aging itself, but you could tell it was set in the past. This one, it tried too hard to be like set in the past. You could tell that like some things they were saying, it was just kind of clunky and just like weirdly written. So that's why I gave it 3 stars. I'm not going to read the description of this one because it's just the sequel to a book that I've already talked about before. So yeah, and one of the main characters had the same name as me, which is weird. I don't know. I don't like it when that happens because I feel like it's just like annoying. I feel like when I see my name, I'm thinking of me. I'm not thinking of this other person. So I don't know. Let me know if you are like that or if you can get past characters having the same name as you. So yeah. Book number 8 was Tilt by Ellen Hopkins. I fell back into my Ellen Hopkins phase. This lady, she writes very, disturbing books. Not disturbing, like, things have gotten worse since we last spoke, but disturbing, like real life stuff that happens, and then it's, like, fictionalized, and her books are written in prose, like, verse format. So yeah, and they're like really long. It seems like they're really long because like I have one of her books. It's like 600 pages, but each page doesn't have that many words on it. So people are always like, "Oh my god, that's such a big book on your bookshelf." No, it really isn't. It's not that long. So this one is Tilt. I give it 4 stars. I didn't realize it was actually a series. It's like a sequel to another book. So I don't know, but I will read the summary. So, and like I don't like it's the sequel, so it tells the story about these 3 teenagers, and then the first book tells the story about their parents. So you wouldn't necessarily have to read the first book because I understood everything in this one. So yeah, it says love, good and bad, forces 3 teens' worlds to tilt. 3 teens, 3 stories, all interconnected through their parents' family relationships. As the adults pull away, caught up in their own dilemmas, the lives of the teens begin to tilt. Michaela, almost 18, is over the top in love with Dylan, who loves her back jealously, but what happens to that love when Michaela gets pregnant the summer before their senior year and decides to keep the baby? Shane turns 16 that same summer and falls hard in love with his first boyfriend, Alex, who happens to be HIV positive. Shane has lived for 4 years with his little sister's impending death. Can he accept Alex's love, knowing that his life too will be shortened? And Haley is 14, a good girl, searching for new experiences, especially love from an older boy. She never expects to hurtle towards self-destructive extremes in order to define who she is and who she wants to be. Love in all its forms has crucial consequences in this standalone novel. See, it says standalone novel, but when you look at it, it's actually the second book, basically. But yeah, that's the whole thing, the summary. It was really good. Like I said, I gave it 4 stars. I don't know, Haley was really getting on my nerves because, like, I don't, like, why are you trying to date your almost stepbrother? Like, what? And his name was Chad. I mean, like, come on. Chad? Really? But, yeah, I liked Michaela's storyline, and Shane's as well. I liked all of them. But this author, she has the same 3 tropes. It's teen pregnancy, a gay character, and then, oh my god, I can't remember the other one, but, a drug addict. Or maybe all 3, you know? But, yeah, but it was good. And like I said, I've been reading her books since I was in middle school, like 12, 13 years old. That's not a good thing. So, yeah. Next is the same author, but this book is called What About Will by Ellen Hopkins. This one is about, I gave it 4 stars as well. And I said it had a nice concept and I liked all the characters. So, it says, 12-year-old Trace Reynolds has always looked up to his older brother, mostly because Will, who's 5 years older, has never looked down on him. It was Will who taught Trace to ride a bike, who would watch sports on TV with him and cheer him on at Little League. But when Will was knocked out cold during a football game, resulting in a brain injury, everything changed. Now, 16 months later, their family is still living under the weight of the incident that left Will with a facial tic, depression, and an anger he cannot always control, culminating in their parents' divorce. Afraid of further fracturing his family, Trace begins to cover for Will, who, struggling with addiction to pain medication, becomes someone Trace doesn't recognize. But when the brother he loves so much becomes more withdrawn and escalates to stealing money and ditching school, Trace realizes some secrets cannot be kept if we ever hope to heal. So it was really good. In the end, at the end of the book, Will overdoses on pain medication, but he, like, is revived and whatever, and he goes to rehab. The mom really pissed me off in this book. She made me so mad because, like, she was so annoying. Like, I understand, like, you know, your kid gets injured, it's really stressful, you get a divorce. Why are you ignoring your children? Why are, like, they call you, you don't answer. It's very infuriating. But I liked everyone in the book, including Will, and I just didn't like the mom. She was annoying. She ran off with one of her band members and tried to be Daisy Jones in the Six, but it didn't work. So, yeah. Number 10 book is Tricks, also by Ellen Hopkins. This is a series. It's like a, what do you call it, like when there's just 2 books? I don't know. There's a sequel to it. This one is called Tricks. I gave it 4 stars. I gave all of these books 4 stars, I think. All of her books, yeah. But, I don't know. I mean, obviously that means they're good. So, I said, it's part of a series. Somebody check on this lady. She writes insane stuff, but I eat it up every time. So, what's that say about me? And why was I reading her books in middle school? I don't know. Okay, so, the summary for this one is 5 teenagers from different parts of the country, 3 girls, 2 guys, 4 straight, 1 gay, some rich, some poor, some from great families, some with no one at all living their lives as best as they can, but all searching for freedom, safety, community, family. Sorry, my voice is cracking. Love. What they don't expect, though, is all that can happen when those powerful little words, I love you, are said for all the wrong reasons. 5 moving stories remain separate at first, then interweave to tell a larger, powerful story. A story about making choices, taking leaps of faith, falling down, and growing up. Yeah, whatever. So, it was really good. I like this one. So, basically, they all get, I don't know, they all get abused. Basically, I don't know. And like I said, I'm telling you, she always has some teenage pregnancy, some gay character, and then drugs. There's drugs in this book, there's a gay character, and then somebody gets pregnant. Come up with some new tropes, Ellen. I don't think she writes books anymore. Maybe she does. But yeah, it was really good. I'm gonna read the summary for the second book, and then I'll talk about my own thoughts. I didn't like the ending of this one, so I was really glad I had the sequel right on hand, because I would not have liked reading the ending and then not being able to open the sequel immediately, because it fell flat. And I think it would have been 5 stars, but it just fell flat. So the second book is called Traffic, and it says, 5 teens victimized by sex trafficking try to find their way to a new life in this riveting companion to the New York Times best-selling Tricks from Ellen Hopkins. I don't know why I read that part. Okay. Ellen Hopkins introduced us to 5 memorable characters tackling these enormous questions. Eden, the preacher's daughter who turns tricks in Vegas and is helped into child prostitution rescue. I tried to upload this, but I tried to upload, I don't know, some other podcast episode, and I said, like, a word, and it, like, flagged it and wouldn't let me upload it. So, yeah. Seth, the gay farm boy. Why'd they say it like that? Disowned by his father, who finds himself without money or resources other than his own body. Whitney, the privileged kid coaxed into the life by a pimp whose dreams are ruined in a heroin haze. Ginger, who runs away from home with her girlfriend and is arrested for soliciting an undercover cop. And Cody, whose gambling habit forces him into the life, but who is shot and left for dead. And now they face the toughest question of all. Is there a way out? I'm not reading the rest. That's a lot to read. But yeah, basically it's like the fallout and consequences of the first book. Yeah, but this first book fell so flat at the end. I was like, what is happening? I don't know. So I said that I feel like the ending of this book was too touchy-feely. And that's kind of like an iffy thing to say, because if you've read this book, you know, like, all the characters go through a lot of stuff, so you would want them to have a happy ending, but, like, compared to her other books that I've read, Crank and Fallout and Glass, those are a trilogy, they are crazy compared to this. Like, so, like, Seth's dad, he died, and that's sad. Yeah. Ginger moved, well, I said Seth's dad died, but Seth is moving back home. Ginger is back with her grandma. Cody is, I don't know, honestly, I put question mark, because I don't know. He's my favorite character, and I wish they gave us more about him. It feels like she kind of just, like, ignored the character, because, like, he was in the hospital for a lot of the book, because, like I said, he got shot and stuff. So, like, I don't know, I wanted to hear more about him. Whitney is back with her family, and Eden literally is engaged. I feel like a main character should have died, to be honest, but I don't know, maybe I'm just, like, crazy like that. Like, why do I wish death upon these characters? I don't know, but that's what I think about that one. So I gave that one 4 stars as well. I think I said that, but both of them 4 stars. So that is every single book that I read in May of this year. And then right now I'm currently reading People Kill People by Ellen Hopkins. I honestly forgot I was reading this until I was writing the outline for this episode, and I saw it on Goodreads. It's okay so far, but I'm like 75% of the way done though, so, but I don't know, it's kind of falling flat, to be honest. Like, it's going back and forth too much between all the character POVs. I feel like I can never get immersed with the character, because then it just switches to the next point of view. And then I'm also reading The Weight of Blood. Why did I say it like that? The Weight of Blood by Tiffany D. Jackson. I really love this author. I love all her books, but it's a really cool concept, but then there's like magic and like supernatural elements. I don't know. I haven't read that. I've only read like, I don't know, I'm not even like a third of the way through, so yeah. And then also I'm listening to How to Make Friends with the Dark by Kathleen Glasgow. I really like this author as well. I have been at 90% of the way through this audiobook since April, so yeah, I just haven't finished it because it's kind of getting boring. I'm kind of over it, to be honest. But yeah, that is literally all the books that I've read, am reading, and whatever. I don't really have any books I want to read this month for June. I really want to get Ellie's book at All Too Swift on YouTube. Her book. I think I'm going to ask for it for my birthday because my birthday's on June 12th. And I'm also going to do another book-related episode for my birthday. I'm going to do 18 books for my 18 years of living. So, yeah. Or I might do like 18 things. I don't know if I'm going to do 18 things or 18 books. But yeah. And yeah, I graduated on Wednesday. Not like this past Wednesday, but like Wednesday the 24th. I graduated then. That's why there wasn't an episode last week, because I was busy recording. I couldn't record because I was busy, graduating and whatever. I don't even have my diploma. I was gonna put a picture, but I don't have it. I have to go pick it up, which is so annoying. But yeah, they gave us like the diploma holder thingy, and I opened it and it's empty. How embarrassing. Yeah. And then I start my job on Monday. Today is Thursday as I'm recording this. You're listening on Friday, or it comes out on Friday, and then Monday I start my job. So I'm really excited to get paid. It's only $11 an hour, but it's more than volunteering for free. So, and it's only for 8 weeks, so hopefully I can like work as much as I can, because I want to save up my money, because then I start college in August. Yeah, I was registering for classes today, but it was so stressful. I literally stopped. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm so scared to start college, to be honest. But yeah, that's literally all I want to talk about in this episode. Next week is the 9th, right? I think that's when I'm going to do the 18 books for 18 years episode, or 18 things, whatever. Because my birthday is that following Monday, June 12th. Yeah, so I think that's what I'm going to do, but we'll see. I'll like post it on the community tab if anything changes and whatever. But that's really it. So I hope you guys have a really good week, and I will see you guys next week on June the 9th. Goodbye, everyone.